Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
You heard me talk about us acquiring rare copies of radio shows. This is kind of one of those, but I think it's been out there for a while, but I finally tracked a copy down. This is an episode of the Shadows Summer Series, sponsored by B.F. Goodrich, the Tire People. This goes back to July 31st, 1938, and it is still Orson Welles as the Shadow, but no Agnes Moorehead. In fact, it is playing the role of the Shadow, Margot Lane, Margot Stevenson. Yes, and interestingly enough, this is an interesting twist to the show. So, hasn't been heard very often. This episode, Message from the Hills, broadcast from July 31st, 1938, The Shadow.
The Shadow, Lamont Cranston, a man of wealth, a student of science, and a master of other people's minds, devotes his life to righting wrongs, protecting the innocent, and punishing the guilty. Using advanced methods that may ultimately become available to all law enforcement agencies, Cranston is known to the underworld as the Shadow. Never seen, only heard. As haunting to superstitious minds as a ghost. As inevitable as a guilty conscience. The Shadow's true identity is known only to his constant friend and aide, Margot Lane. Today's story, The Message from the Hill. Hand me that map, Jake.
Okay, boss. Spread it out on the table, Jordan.
Okay. Now, let's check the whole thing once more.
All right. Now, here's the bloomin' desert island we're camped on right now.
Yeah? It ain't so much bigger than that dot at that. Oh, shut up, Jake. And here's Swaneo Island.
Righto. There's Mount Raleigh and that blessed diamond line. Right smack in the middle. See, Jake? 3 weeks from the coast and Governor House by trail. Isolated, you might say.
All right, Limey. Is our plane in good shape?
Top hole.
You're sure you can find that mountain?
Well, I've flown up there often enough.
Limey, we don't want to get tangled up with the mining company's plane.
We won't. The plane goes up from the coast on Friday. Comes back on Saturday. We pays our little visit to the diamond mine in between.
You're sure they ship the diamonds out every 3 months?
Listen, George. I've worked with those fat-headed birds for over a year. I know.
Well, looks foolproof to me.
And there's enough diamonds in one of them shipments to keep us all like aristocrats.
The rest of the native boys in good shape, Jake? Yeah, boss. Cream of the South Seas. They can fight?
They may have to. That bastard Major White's what's the chief? He's a tough old bird, he is.
We'll take care of him.
Wonder what he'll say when he sees me again.
Well, why worry? He won't talk long. What do you mean, boss? I mean that when we get through and ready to leave, we'll wipe out every one of the white men.
That's the ticket, Jordan. Don't leave no witnesses. They'll all be corpses.
Miss Lane at the Mount Raleigh Diamond Mine. Nice landing, Rick, here. Thanks awfully, Mr. Cranston.
Oh, here comes a nice-looking boy to greet us.
It's Ned Fenton, the assistant superintendent of the Diamond Mine. Hi, Ned. Visitors for you.
Well, this is jolly.
Miss Lane, may I present Ned Fenton?
How do you do?
How do you do?
And Mr. Lamont Cranston, Mr. Fenton.
How do you do?
Very glad to be here.
Lovely here on your mountain top.
Glad you like it. Let me help you down, Miss Lane.
Oh, thanks.
Here you are.
I suppose this is one of the few really secluded places left on the Earth's surface. I imagine it is. By the way, Ned, where are the others?
Well, Major Whiteside's off in the hills with the 3 junior engineers. See them all at mess tonight. Leave the mail sack there, Ricky. Tenga will haul it in.
By the way, how is Tenga? Still down in the mouth?
Right. Poor old chap.
Who's Tenga?
What's the matter with him?
Oh, Tenga's our houseman, butler, cook, and so on. He's mourning for his son who lives on a small island about 1,000 miles from here.
Poor fellow. When did he hear?
Months ago. Same night he thinks the boy died.
But I thought you had no wireless station here. No, we haven't.
Then
Tinker's wife told him by telepathy.
told him. You mean he believes his son dead because of a mental message sent by telepathy?
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come now, Mr. Cranston. You don't believe this rot.
Frankly, I don't think it is all rot. I believe when two minds are in tune, sometimes they can communicate.
Across 1,000 miles of ocean.
The ends of the earth.
Oh, after
Don't
all,
laugh too loudly, Mr. Fenton. Your disbelief might get a rude shock if you stay in the Orient long. You can never tell what strange things may happen today, tonight.
Tinker! Oh, confound the fellow. No good lately.
We heard about his mourning for his son.
To be sure. You know, I've told Tinker there can't be any truth to his notion, but that doesn't alter his belief.
Excuse me, sir. Here comes the old man now.
Yes, Master Whiteside. You call?
Have a coffee now, Tinker.
Yes, Master. I bring it.
A fine old type. A chieftain, I imagine, his own island.
I can't say, Mr. Cranston. Tinker's a good houseman. That's all I know about him.
Major, Ricky tells us that on his flight next week he takes out your quarterly shipment of diamonds.
Yes. Sending off the sizable packet of the stones. They accumulate in 3 months.
Isn't it risky letting them accumulate? I should think crooks might be tempted to line weight and pounds.
Oh, nonsense, Cranston. Takes 3 months to reach us by train.
Shouldn't they take a hint from you and use a plane?
Can't see how. There's no plane but ours the whole island. None nearer than Australia, I should fancy.
Major.
Now, if you'll forgive me, I'll take a squint at my mail from the office.
No, of course. You other boys must want to read yours, too.
Thanks awfully, Miss Lane. There is one from home I'm aching.
Well, by Jove.
Anything wrong, Major?
No, nothing wrong. Just deuced odd, that's all.
I bring coffee now, Master Whiteside.
Oh, yes. Tinker,
Yes, Master.
I have a letter from the office. A message for you in it. The fact of the matter is, your wild guess was right. Your son did die a month ago.
Oh, no.
Yes, Master, I know. Tinga's wife tell him boy dead.
I say, Tinker, we're awfully sorry.
Thank you, Master Ned.
Well, that'll be all, Tinker. We'll help ourselves. You may go.
Yes, Master. Tinga go.
Fancy that now.
I said that in the East the unbelievable always happens. Now, will you excuse me? I think I must speak to Tenga, sir.
Well, whatever for?
I'd like to give the old man a few words of consolation.
Oh, I say, that won't do. We never have personal dealings with the natives, Cranston. Bad for discipline, you know. I'm afraid I must ask you to refrain.
Why, naturally, Major, if you wish. Margot, supposing you and I go out and look at the moon.
Why, of course, Lamont. Lovely tonight.
I'll open the screen door for you.
Well, what do you think of the Major, Lamont?
Fine example of a ruler in the empire on which the sun just doesn't set.
Not very nice of him forbidding you to speak to Tenga.
Oh, I don't mind. At least he can't forbid the shadow doing so.
You mean you'll go to Tenga as the shadow?
Yes, Margot. Yes.
But, Lamont, you'll scare the poor old man silly. Lamont, where are you? Speak to me.
It's all right, Margot. I'm on my way to talk to Tenga as the shadow. Do not be afraid, Tenga.
Why should Tinga fear?
Many fear the shadow because they cannot see him.
The shadow is strange magic. Tinga not understand. But an old man whose son has gone down in the land of dead fears nothing anymore.
The shadow weeps for you.
The tears of friend are balm to the heart.
Is not your sorrow greater tonight because the letter has come making your son's death certain?
No. Tinga need not white man's foolish letter.
The white major does not understand how you could communicate with your wife across the waters.
White men do not know wisdom and magic.
Some white men know.
That may be. I do not know.
You do not question the shadow. You do not ask where I come from.
No. The young and foolish question. The old take what comes.
Soon I shall be gone. Far away toward the sea. But Tenga, though I am far off, I will still be your friend.
Then our souls will speak to each other. Again, when we are troubled.
Yes. For when two spirits are in tune, the waters of the earth, the many miles of forest, do not part them. They can still meet and speak.
Miss Lane, Roger backed down and paid for every one of the cows.
Oh, how interesting, Governor.
Yes, must tell that yarn to Cranston.
Yes, indeed. What that's funny. I thought he was dancing with Lady Brainfoot.
No, I saw him going to the garden a moment ago. Your friend's a very restless chap, isn't he?
Not ordinarily, Governor, but I must confess that he certainly has been jumpy this evening.
Perhaps the flight back from the hills upset him.
Oh, I don't think so, Governor. Well, if you'll excuse me, I think I'll go and try to find him.
Certainly, Miss Lane.
Lamont Cranston.
Oh, yes? What is it?
It's I, Margot Lane.
Oh, you, Margot.
Yes, what are you doing down here on the beach by yourself?
Margot, shh. Listen.
Listen? I can't hear anything.
Nothing at all?
Look at the waves lapping on the shore. There's nothing else to hear.
But there is, Margot. You just interrupted a very interesting conversation.
Interrupted? But Lamont, there's no one here for you to talk to. Who was it?
Tenga.
Tenga? You mean that old native up at the mine?
Yes, Margot.
But it doesn't seem possible. He's 100 miles away.
In the Orient, Margot, many strange things happen. All evening I've been restless. I had the feeling someone was trying to speak to me. I came out here to put myself in a receptive mood.
Oh, what did Tenga say, Lamont?
Your coming disturbed me, and the contact was broken.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. And just as you called out, Tenga spoke of danger. Yes, something to do with the Mount Raleigh diamond mine. Establish contact with him quickly. Sit down here beside me.
Yes, Lamont.
Now, clear your mind, Margot. Think of Tenga. Think of the hills about the mining camp. Listen.
Shadow.
There. Can you hear him now?
Yes. Yes, I think so.
Master Shadow. Master Shadow. Tenga called you, Master.
I can hear you, Tenga.
I can hear too.
Tenga, speak. Tell Shadow. There is danger?
Yes, Shadow. White men come to mine. Make war.
White men? Strangers?
Yes, Shadow. Bad white men. Come rob. Come kill.
Where did the strangers come from?
Bad white man come in big skybird.
An airplane?
Yes. They come with gun. Money gun. They want rob stones from mine.
Yes, Tenga?
Master White Stone fix skybird.
Fix the plane? How, Tenga?
Fix so no cannot fly. Bad white man shoot master for this. Kill him.
How horrible.
Tenga, how many bad white men are there?
Many as fingers on one hand and 3 more.
8.
They say kill Master Ned. Kill Tenga. Kill everyone. Native boy fear. Run to hills. Bad man lock masters in house. Tenga call Shadow. Bring help.
Yes, Tenga, yes. The Shadow will bring help.
Hurry, Master Shadow. Come quick. Hurry. Hurry.
He's gone. Come, Margot, quickly.
What can you do?
Those bandits are stuck up in the mountains. Major Whiteside wrecked their plane. They can't escape. But they killed Whiteside. We must hurry before they kill all the others.
July 31st, 1938, The Shadow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. So you may be asking yourself, why was Blue Coal not sponsoring The Shadow in July? Because who needed coal to heat a home in the summertime? They really didn't. So it was sponsored by B.F. Goodrich because people were out and about on the roads, don't you know? Even though they didn't have radios in the cars, they had them at home. Okay, more of The Shadow, July 31st, 1938, Message from the Hills.
Governor Governor, you've got to listen to me. I tell you, I know.
Ridiculous, Mr. Cranston.
Governor, your friends, those men in the hills, they may be killed.
My dear Miss Lane, it's impossible for you to know anything about what's going on up there. Impossible.
I told you, Governor. Tenga spoke to us.
Please, Mr. Cranston, you can't ask me to believe that.
Yes, it's true.
I heard Tenga, too, Governor.
Pure imagination, my dear.
Give me a plane and some armed men, and we'll find out if it's imagination.
The plane, Mr. Cranston, is for official business only. Not for any silly joyride.
But it isn't silly. Tenga called us through mental telepathy, the oldest wireless in the world.
Now, Cranston, I think I've listened to this cock and bull story long enough. I'll get back to my guest.
Just lend me the plane first.
No, I won't lend it to you. And I'll put a guard around it in case you have any crazy schemes about grabbing it.
But, Governor, these bandits...
The bandits, my dear, are creatures of Mr. Cranston's imagination, nothing more. Please excuse me. I must give my orders to the guard.
You may regret this, Governor.
I doubt it, Mr. Cranston. If you ask me, you'd better consult the doctor. Such of a son, no doubt.
Oh, Lamont, what can we do?
Margot? We're going up to that mine.
How?
We're flying, taking the plane.
But you heard the governor. He's putting guards around the plane.
Guards, Margot, have never yet managed to stop the shadow.
Say, Corporal.
What is it?
Sitting in this hangar guarding the plane. Ain't it kind of silly?
It ain't for you to question the governor's orders.
No, sir. Well, who's going to meddle with the plane?
Never mind that. Orders is orders.
Oh, yes. Hey, someone's opening the small door.
Who's there?
Don't see anyone.
Ain't no one, I guess.
Well, maybe the wind blew the door open and shut.
Well, there's no sign of it, Breeze.
Well, maybe whoever it was saw us and stayed outside.
Just keep your eyes on that plane.
Yes. Hey, Corporal, look at the hangar door.
Sliding back.
Yeah, nobody's near it.
Who's there? Once I say I'll shoot.
I'm afraid you can't hit anything, soldier.
Who's Corporal?
It's spooks.
Yes, my friend, something like that.
I'm getting out of here.
Blimey, this ain't regulations, you know.
Leave before it's too late.
Yes, sir, I'm leaving. Right.
Lamont!
Come on, Margot. Coast is clear. Hurry.
Oh, those poor soldiers. They're still running.
Get in, Margot, before they come back.
Yes, I'm with you.
I'll run her right through the open door. Take off.
All right.
Shut the door.
Yes.
Thank heaven this plane's got an automatic starter.
Hurry.
Strap your belt. Here we go.
Oh, I hope we're in time, Shadow.
Here come some men now. They heard the plane landing.
Yes, strangers, and they have guns.
No doubt they're the robbers. The plane's a surprise to them.
Yes.
There'll be another surprise later. They'll be hardly expecting the shadow.
No.
Now remember, Margot, you're alone. No one on the coast suspects what's happening here.
I'll remember. Be careful, Shadow.
Here they come.
Don't move.
Hey.
Come on, now drag that pilot out of here, Jake.
What's the matter?
Hey, boy. It's a woman.
Well, what is this? What's the matter? I don't know you.
Yeah, let me in there. Why, a girl. Alone. Yeah, look. Hey, what are you doing here, sister?
Well, please, put down that gun.
Answer my question.
Well, I borrowed the plane and flew up to see a friend, Ned Fenton.
Well, your friend ain't receiving, sister. But thanks very much for the plane. Bring her out, Jake. Sure. Come on, babe, and keep those pretty paws up.
Very well.
There she is. Now, come on, miss. Jump down here.
This is a hold-up, isn't it?
You catch on quick. Limey, can you fly this crate? Sure, easy.
But I used up all the gas.
There's gas over in that shack, Limey. Fill her up. We'll bump off the rest of these mining guys and get out of here. I'll get the gas right away. All right, Jake. Bring the dame. I want to talk to her. Okay, boss. Come on, you.
Coming. Let go of my arm.
Come on, get out of here.
So the plane was welcome, was it? I doubt if its invisible passenger will be. No, you killers. You will not like the shadow.
Hey, you. Bozo, what's your name?
Tenga.
Yeah? Well, Tenga, the boss says to get him a couple of drinks. Fast, you hear me?
Tenga here.
Scram. Pep it up.
Pig.
Tenga.
Who calls? The Shadow?
Yes, Tenga. I am here.
Shadow come to save Master Ned and White Master?
Yes, Tenga. The Shadow promised when he spoke across the mountains. He is here to help.
Yes, Shadow.
Tell me, where have the bandits put Master Ned and our other friends?
They locked in room main bungalow. Chief of robbers in room outside with gun.
Take him the drinks he orders, Tenga. The Shadow will follow you into the room.
Yes, Shadow. Drinks ready. Shadow come?
Yes, Tenga. But do not speak to me with others near.
No. Tenga knows. Shadow stay hidden.
Lead the way, Tenga.
The conclusion of The Shadow, July 31st, 1938, when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues on your favorite station. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of the Shadow Summer Series, sponsored by B.F. Goodrich, from July 31st, 1938.
They are in here, Shadow.
Hey, Tenga, what are you whispering about out there?
Nothing, Master.
Who are you talking to?
No one, Master. See, no one here.
Yeah? Well, come on in here with that bottle.
Don't grab the poor old man like that.
You keep quiet, sister. Hey, boss. The old guy must have money in the bank. He was talking to himself.
Tenga, go now.
Okay, beat it. Now, don't hang around outside. If we catch you trying to help those English guys, I'll slit your throat.
Tenga, go.
How long do you expect to keep me here?
Just as long as we want, sister. Maybe we'll take you along when we leave, as hostage.
I'd rather stay here.
There won't be nothing left here, lady, but stiff. Hey, look, sister. You see that little package on the table?
Yes?
Well, that's got enough diamonds in it to make us all rich. Sure. Hey, well, what is it, Lammy? I got bad news. Did you fill up the plane with gas? That's just it. While I went for the gas, somebody monkeyed with the works. All three motors. Hey, what goes in? Hey, you, sister. Are you trying to pull a fast one on me?
Don't be ridiculous. I haven't been near those motors since I landed.
That's right, boss. Who could have fixed them motors? I don't know. But we got to find those missing parts if we're going to get out of here. Well, how about taking parts from our plane? There's nothing left to take. Old Major Whiteside went to work on our motors with an axe. Hey, wait a minute. I'll bet one of them guys in the next room got out and did it. Oh, how could they? With two guards outside the window? Jake, you go with Limey and try to find that stuff. And leave the machine gun on the table. Okay, boss. Come on, Jake. Now, listen to me, sister.
Yes?
Was there someone hiding here beside you in the plane? Someone hiding?
I was not hiding, Jordan, but you could not see me.
Who said that?
I am the Shadow.
Shadow? Well, where are you anyway?
Here, Jordan. Here in the shadows. But you cannot see me. Your plan to steal the diamonds has failed.
The devil it has.
Look. Look on the table.
The diamonds. They're gone.
I've taken them, Jordan, just as I took the parts from the motors in the plane. You cannot escape.
Shadow, my friends are locked in this room.
Get away from that door, doll, before I throttle you.
No, my friend. Let the girl go.
Oh, Shadow, you...
I knocked him out, Margot. Now I must leave things in your hands. I cannot reveal my presence here as the Shadow to our friends. But I will be here watching in the shadows. Now, unlock the door and let our friends out. The key is in the lock.
Yes. Hurry, men. Come on out.
Wait, how in the world?
Never mind that. Hurry. Take the machine gun over there. You must arm yourself.
Steady, guns in the closet there.
Right. Gordon, the leader's lying there unconscious, but the others are still free and dangerous.
Let's have that Tommy gun, Miss Lane.
Here it is.
We'll give them a reception. Miss Lane, you better go in the next room there. There'll be bullets flying in here.
All right.
Hey, boss! Hey, boss! We can't find him. Hey, Jake, throw up your hands. What is it? Hands up, I say. Not me, you. Hey, Daddy's got a pistol. Yes, that's for Major Whiteside. Now, come on, fellows. Let's get the others. All right, come on.
Shadow, are you still here?
Yes, Tenga. I'm here.
Then you see Master Ned kill bad man?
Yes, Ned had no alternative. They tried to fight. Look through the window, Tenga. Another bad man die. Others fly towards jungle.
They go also to their death. Listen.
Native drums. Ah,
Yes, master. Boys in jungle know these white men bad. They glad to kill them.
Their leader, Jordan, there, will live only a little longer. Then he will die at the hands of the authorities. He planned well, but he forgot one thing.
Yes, Shadow. He forgot Shadow and Tinga speak together no matter where he is. No matter where I am.
Yes, Tenga. And he forgot crime always brings its own penalty. No matter whether justice is brought about by means of mental telepathy, recognized detective forces, or the shadow.
The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The shadow knows.
July 31st, 1938, The Shadow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Part 2 of the 5-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Sea Legs Matter. This episode originally broadcast July 31st, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Here's your call to Hartford, Mr. Dollar. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Pat McCracken. What'd you get me out of bed for this time?
I'm calling from the airport in Dallas.
Does that mean you're going on to Nicaragua?
Yep.
All right, then I know why you're calling. The answer's no. We still haven't found any trace of Constance Lanfear. So why don't you come on back here and start from scratch?
Because I have found some trace of Connie Lanfear.
Oh, it's Connie now, huh?
It sure is, brother.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Pat, she just happened to occupy a seat aboard the plane right next to mine.
Look, Johnny, why don't you work on the facts of the case for a change instead of on the woman involved?
Patrick, ever hear of killing two birds with one stone?
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Bluefields, Nicaragua, to the Universal Adjustment Bureau, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an accounting of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Sea Legs matter. Expense account item 8, 525, late supper at the Dallas airport for Connie and myself during the wait for our midnight plane to Mexico City, which we finally boarded and which finally took off. And on this trip, I learned no more, no less from Connie than I had on the flight from New York to Dallas. For instance...
Doug and I were so close in everything. Same friends, the same interests. That's why we always took the long yachting trips together. Did everything together.
As a matter of fact, I felt that her somewhat overdone assurances of how much she loved her late husband could have been to throw off any suspicion I might have that she'd done him in. Another, for instance...
I still can't get over the coincidence of our both deciding to go to Nicaragua at the same time. But believe me, Johnny, Mr. Dollar, I'm just as anxious to clear up this whole thing as you are.
The more I thought about it, the more certain I was that it was not just coincidence that had put her on the same plane with me, and the more leery I felt.
I know the country so well, too. I think I told you the Sea Legs was built in a small shipyard in San Juan del Paro. That's south of Bluefields.
Yeah, that's at the lower end of the East Coast, isn't it?
You do know something about Nicaragua, don't you?
Oh, only what I've seen on the maps.
Oh.
Now, let's see. We can get a plane from Managua to the East Coast?
Oh, yes. Nicaragua boasts 2 or 3 commercial airlines. I'm sure at least one of them makes a direct flight to Bluefields. That's where we put in with the Sea Legs, you know, before the beautiful thing went down between those awful Boldero Islands.
And took your husband with her?
Oh, yes. Poor Doug.
There it was again. More apparent concern over the loss of the sea legs than over the husband she claimed to have loved so much. And still no explanation of why she decided to go back to Nicaragua. Her decision must have been sudden, too, right after I'd seen her at her home on Long Island. From Mexico City, we took a deluxe 4-engine plane to Managua, but the last leg to the city of Bluefields was in a 2-engine something that looked like war surplus tied together with baling wire. At midnight, we signed in at the Providencia Hotel, and after a hearty meal, retired to our respective rooms to make up for lost sleep. I had not planned to wake up at 6 a.m., but fate decreed otherwise. What?
Ha! You're still in bed.
Yeah, sure. Just a minute, I'll get up and open the door.
No. Do not disturb yourself, dear sir.
Huh?
There, you see, there was no need to disturb yourself.
Well, now, just a minute. Who are you?
Oscar Patrick Vladimir Posquero. At your service.
Oscar Patrick, what?
You, my dear Mr. Dollar, may just call me Oscar, now that we are working together.
Working together? Whatever gave you...
Welcome to Nicaragua. And no matter what your needs, I, Oscar Patrick Vladimir Posquero, will provide them for you. For a small financial pittance, of course. Here, let me straighten your pillow.
Hey, look, wait.
There now.
Wait a minute. Where did you get the key you just used to open this door?
As you can see, Mr. Dollar, I am prepared for everything. That is why I can be of such unestimable service to you.
Oh, now who the devil is
The
that?
breakfast I ordered for you, of course. Here, my good man, I will take the tray. You may collect the tip some other time. Get lost.
Is this a gag of some kind?
Mr. Dollar, how can you say such a thing after I just saved you paying that menial servant a big tip? Here now. Tomato juice, orange juice, cream, chip beef on toast, eggs, Benedict lamb chops, scrambled eggs, little sausages, toast, honey, jam, and coffee.
You expect me to eat all of that?
If I am to be of help to you in this important campaign, I must keep my strength up.
Oh, I beg your pardon. And at my expense, of course.
Of course. After all, nowhere else in Central America can you get such invaluable help as I can give you.
Yeah, well, just what gives you the idea I may need your help?
A good question. Here, let me prop you up on your pillow so that you can enjoy this delectable food.
Oscar.
There you are. Oh, now the chip beef and toast. It doesn't look so good this morning, so I shall take that. And the lamb chop.
Oscar, would you please...
Now, to business. While you enjoy your breakfast, that is. No, please don't wait for me, Mr. Dollar.
Look, to begin with, how did you know my name?
Easy. You signed the hotel register.
Okay, but then how did you know?
Who has not heard of the famous freelancing insurance instigator with such a lovely, big, fat expense account, huh? Lucky man.
So that's what appealed to you.
Yeah, of course. And who am I, Oscar Patrick Vladimir Posquero?
Yeah.
Exactly. Who am I that I shouldn't learn a couple of tricks or two from such a great man?
Oh, brother, seems to me you've learned plenty already.
Thank you. And that is why I shall be of such magnitudinous assistance to you in the sea legs matter. For a pittance, you understand.
Yeah.
Say, $100 a day.
How about 10?
90.
20 then?
70.
40?
30.
50?
20 a day and not one penny more.
Sorry, Oscar, but you are not hired.
Oh, Mr. Dollar, you bleed me to the quick. How else could you solve this case without me?
Do you really know something about the sea legs? And how did you know I came here to investigate it?
In the second place, what else would such a distinguished instigator be doing than the case of the American boat lost in the Buldara Islands, especially coming here with Mrs. Lanfear?
All right, go on.
And in the first place, because I know all about it.
All right, Oscar, tell me this. Do you think there's anything phony about the loss of the sea legs?
I am sure of it. It was a crime of the first and second water.
Why?
Because you are here.
You can do better than that.
All right. Because I am always sure there is something crooked going on until the guilty ones are proved otherwise, or until the innocent ones are proved whatever is left, which is besides the point because I was sure of it in the first place.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the first thing for you to do is make a trip to Puerto Gardo.
The last point of contact with the sea legs before she was wrecked.
Exactly. I have a plane ready and waiting for your own personal use.
A plane?
Yeah. How else? 150 miles by ox cart? Or boat?
Well, no. First, however, I'd like to contact the authorities here in Bluefields.
What do the authorities know about crime? Me, I know all about it.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think you do, Oscar. Too much, probably.
Thank you, Mr. Dollar. I respect your high opinion of myself.
All right. I don't know yet what your racket is, but...
That I can make plain to you in 2 words. Money.
Okay, look. If you can get me a small plane...
Here, good sir, is the address to give to the taxi driver when you are ready to go to the airfield, where I shall be waiting for you.
Oh? Not the big airport?
No. That is where the lady, Mrs. Lanfair, would expect you to look for transportation.
Oscar, you are the craziest.
Thank you. I knew you wouldn't want her coming along, and if she ever gets in your way during your campaign...
You'll keep her out of my way.
Yes.
At my expense.
What else?
I'll tell you something, Oscar. If there is a wrong angle to this case, I can't help wondering if she isn't a part of it.
You read my mind. You see, we are like brothers under the chin.
You say you have a plane all ready to go.
A charter plane.
Then we can be on our way before Mrs. Lanfair knows we've left. Hey, you want to set the tray over there so I can get up?
Oh, yes, of course. I'll set it right over here on the...
Hey, wait a minute. What are you going through my pockets for?
Oh, just accepting a small tip for bringing up your breakfast. Thank you.
If only half of what Oscar said was true, it was conceivable that he could be of help to me. I checked with the hotel manager and the local police. They knew Oscar well and told me that he pretty much lived on the occasional American tourist who showed up. That he acted as guide, chauffeur, pilot, anything for a price. That he could be trusted implicitly by whoever happened to be paying him at the moment. And, which was important to me, he knew the country and its people inside out, was a font of information about anything and anybody. So I decided to let him tag along for a while. The Federal Maritime, the equivalent of our Coast Guard, had headquarters in the harbor area, and I found a captain there who spoke fair English.
I'm sorry, Senor Dollar, but you know as much as we do. We sent a boat, of course, but we find no sign of the sea legs or the poor people who go down with her. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of going up to Porto Gardo, where she took off on her last trip, you know.
Excellent idea. From there, you can fly out to the Boldaro Islands where the wreck did occur.
Now, that's what I was thinking of.
But in addition to an airplane, you must also need a pilot and a guide.
You have someone to suggest?
I see. There is but one. Senor Oscar Patrick
Vladimir Pasquero.
Precisely.
Item 9, 20 cents American for a 3-mile ride in an old Model T Ford to the little private airstrip where, true to his word, Oscar had rented an almost brand new 2-place plane for us. He had it warmed up and ready to go.
So fasten your belt, Mr. Dollar, relax and enjoy it, and we will take off.
You sure you can fly this thing, Oscar?
I am the finest pilot in Nicaragua, maybe in the whole world. I'm even a co-pilot.
Just how much is the use of this plane costing me, Oscar?
For me, a special rate, so don't worry about it. Here we go into the...
How much?
Well, the usual price is $35 a day, American. But me, I always have a deal. That's on account of I give the field so much business. So now that is said...
Oscar, how much?
$45 a day. Do you see what a beautiful view we have from...
45?
Look, the bay and the Caribbean on one side, and the flat, empty marshes and plains on the other.
Now, wait a minute, look.
There,
if $35 a day is the regular rate, what's so special about $45 for me?
Oh, no, Mr. Dollar. For me. Surely you wouldn't expect the finest pilot in the whole entire world to work for nothing.
Why, you... Okay.
But what took you so long getting to the airfield, Mr. Dollar?
Oh, a couple of calls I wanted to make us all. Why?
Why, you have disappointed me. And all the time, I thought you had the uttermost confidence in me.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
First, you tell me you do not want the lady to know you're awake and up and going.
Mrs. Lanfair?
Yes. And then what happens? You tell her all about it.
What makes you think that?
Why else would she come tearing out to the airfield while I was waiting for you?
Wait a minute.
Rent herself a plane and take off in it.
What?
She took off just a couple of minutes before we did.
Connie Lanfair, chartering a plane. Why? And to go where? And after her offer to stick by me and help me, why would she do it without letting me know? There were a lot of questions to be answered in this case, and most of them to be answered by Connie Lanfair.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, the sea, the rocks, and dear old Mother Nature bring some pretty startling facts to light. And the case takes a sudden twist. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone, who also wrote this week's story. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
And those of you who recognize the voice of Oscar as Parley Bear, step to the head of the line. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, July 30th, 1956 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. If your station doesn't carry us tomorrow, a reminder that our shows are always available on demand at classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream, so you can keep track of all 5 parts of this Yours truly, Johnny Dollar story. You can hear them on demand. You can also visit, learn more about classic radio collecting. You can contact me. You can learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. And if you like what we do here, you can even buy me a coffee. And that money goes to finding more great episodes of classic radio theater, like the Shadow episode you heard earlier. Thanks for listening. Thank this station. Support their advertisers. And as always, tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.